From a race carved out of the desert dust to one of the most dramatic season openers in Formula 1, let's talk about the evolution of the Bahrain Grand Prix. So it's 2004, Ferrari are still dominating, Schumacher is still destroying the grid, and Bahrain pulls off a power move, hosting the very first Formula 1 race in the Middle East. But it almost didn't happen. See, Bahrain wasn't the only one eyeing the F1 spotlight. Egypt, Lebanon, and the UAE were all lining up like it was a job interview. But Bahrain sealed the deal. Now, who designed this track? A guy named Herman Tilke. I'm so sorry if I said that wrong. He also designed the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia. Yep, the same guy. Let's talk building the track. Yeah, that was pretty much a sprint. It was basically a national mission pushed forward by the Crown Prince himself. But there was a slight problem. It was barely ready in time. Organizers panicked and tried to pull the plug, but good old Bernie Ecclestone said, nope, you're racing, ready or not. So the crew slapped some paint on it, rolled out the red carpets, and just like magic, the 2004 Bahrain GP was ready to go. But right after that first race, they were like, alright, let's make some tweaks. So before the Grand Prix in 2005, they realigned turn 4. Nothing major, just shaved off like 5 meters, and that was the first ever change to the secure circuit. Now, let's fast forward to 2010, and someone in race control must have thought, hey, what if we added more corners? Enter the endurance layout. They added on an extra section, stretching the track to over 6.2 kilometers. It sounds good in theory, but like most genius ideas from F1, it kind of flopped. The new section was tight and twisty, and about as exciting as watching paint dry. Drivers hated it, fans hated it, it was used once, just once, then never again. Back to the classic layout, please, and thank you. Then came 2011, and no, there wasn't a race this year. Due to political unrest in Bahrain, the GP was straight up cancelled. A rare move in F1, but safety concerns were high, the world was watching, and F1 said, we're gonna sit this one out. Okay, now here's where Bahrain seriously started to get its name. 2014, the first ever night race in Sakir. The lights came on, the visuals were insane, and suddenly the racing got way better. Everything just seemed right with it being a night race now, and the scene was set. Hamilton versus Rosberg. They went full on in the desert. DRS battles, wheel-to-wheel action, Toto's blood pressure skyrocketing. It had everything. And it was so good, it got a name, the Jewel in the Desert. If you say that to someone, they know what that means. It didn't matter that they were so far ahead that they were in a race of their own. It marked the start of Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton's dominance. It was a classic race, and it will always be remembered. From that point on, Bahrain under the lights became a much better race. Cooler temps meant better tire life, which meant tighter racing, which meant chaos. Beautiful, controlled chaos. Now let's go forward another few years. 2020 was weird for everyone, but for Bahrain, it was double header time. They were to host back-to-back Grand Prix here, but not on the same circuit. First up, the regular GP, but no one really even remembers what happened during that race, or who won. What we do remember is Romain Grosjean's horrifying crash. The man literally walked out of fire. It was terrifying. The whole F1 world stood still for a moment, and we're just relieved to get out of that Grand Prix with Romain Grosjean doing well. Once again, the halo proved and showed its worth. A week later, the Sakir GP on a brand new layout. Not the classic track, not the 2010 one, thank God for that. This was the outer loop, basically a glorified oval. Everyone said it would be chaos, and it was. George Russell jumped in a Mercedes for the first time after Lewis Hamilton had to sit this one out, and Russell nearly won, but Mercedes somehow managed to mix up Russell's and Bottas's tyres. Just madness. Sergio Perez went from last to first and finally became a race winner. So Sakir 2020 was an instant classic. Two very different races, and two that will be remembered for very different reasons. Since 2020 reshuffled the calendar, Bahrain's been opening the F1 season, taking over from Australia. Now let's talk about 2021 and not what happened on the other side of the desert. That's a discussion for another day. Hamilton versus Verstappen, round 1. Verstappen had the pace. He passed Hamilton late in the race, but did it off track. The FIA said track limits exist today actually, and told Max to give the place back. Hamilton held on for a statement win and the season was on. That moment wasn't just about Bahrain, it was the spark that lit the fuse in one of the wildest title fights in F1 history. Iconic. Now to the present day, and Bahrain is still going strong. It also holds F1 pre-season testing solely, and the teams know the track probably better than they know any other track on the calendar. The Bahrain GP isn't perfect, but it does throw up a classic here and there, so here's to many, many more. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. It really helps a lot. Let me know your favorite moment in Bahrain's history. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.